Okay, so on the Kumbh water controversy, I have Tuhin Sinha, BJP national spokesperson. I have Anand Arya, who's a senior environmentalist. Sangeet Wagi will be joining us. He's an author. Karan Verma, is a political analyst, has joined us on the show. I have Vimlendu Jha, who's the founder of Swechha India, joining us live from Delhi. Kavita Maharishi Ashok, who's an environment activist, joining us live from Delhi. Ashutosh Mishra is a senior journalist. Nikhil Jain completing the panel. So what do we have this evening? Let me tell you that, okay, let me put the data out first on your screen so that you can see it. This data is from the Mahakumbh website. I have the website in front of me. It is open. If I can ask the producers to put that out. There are two plates essentially. It's from the Mahakumbh website. I'll make a correction because in that story that you just saw a report, it said NGT. It is factually wrong. I'll just correct that, but it's from the Mahakumbh website. Anybody can open it. Can I please put that out? Okay, it's on your screen right now. This is the 13th of February data, right? These are samples from two different points. In fact, the samples are taken from different points. For example, the Shringverpur Ghat, the Lord Curzon Bridge, and another point in Ganga before Shastri Bridge near Nagvasuki Mandir, Pantun number 15, from Sangam, from Diha Ghat, from Old Naini Bridge, and from Yamuna before the confluence to River Ganga at Sangam. So different points. 17th of February, look at this data. 17th of February, this is the latest data that I have recorded on the 17th. And if you look at the permissible limits, the pH within permissible limit, which is between 6.5 to 8.5, it's not permissible, but normal limits, right? I'll go back to the numbers, please. I want to show the number graphics. We're talking about the numbers, 17th of February. The BOD, right, also within limits. The fecal coliform in Sangam and the Diha Ghat, also within limits. So in that case, if it is within limits, then what was the controversy all about? Now, that's the question that we have. Let me start with Vimlendu Jha. Vimlendu Jha, you see this, it's not that we are making up this data. This data is on the website, right? This data shows, and it's not just two variables. I have data here, which is live data for the exact location, pH levels, color, DO, temperature, turbidity, COD, BOD, fecal coliform. And I have all the levels. And it's taken from these locations. My first big takeaway from this, when I look at the report, is there is higher dissolved oxygen, or DO, right? Ranging between 8.5 to 10.2 mg per liter, significantly above minimum required level, which is 5 mg per liter, ensuring there is better aquatic life support, improved water quality for rituals. This is my first takeaway. I have 6 or 7, but my first takeaway, I'm only going purely by the numbers. Then in that case, why was there such a big hue and cry in the last few days? Vimlendu Jha.
Okay, so first of all, this hue and cry was not made by so-called Kumbh baiters, as you've been calling it. First of all, we need to understand that people who are actually concerned about the health of the river or health of the people who are actually dipping in the river are not anti-Sanatanis or Kumbh baiters or whatever name calling that you've done in your promo, first of all. And the previous data that actually has come, that the NGT actually reprimanded the local government primarily, was from Central Pollution Control Board, which is the government data that we're talking about. So at the end of the day, the other set of data, which actually talked about the fecal coliform levels 1,600 times worse than the permissible limits, and perhaps on January 20th, which was almost a month away, is coming from the government sources itself. So, you know, when we're trying to talk about, and we are self-approving ourselves and saying the data that's actually coming from the Kumbh website that you're actually citing right now is better data or is the true data, and the CPCB data from the last month is incorrect, as in I don't know whom to believe. At the end of the day, if this data was available with UP government, and if you look at the proceedings of National Green Tribunal, the UP government did not really, take offense to CPCB's data. They agreed with CPCB data. In fact, they were reprimanded by National Green Tribunal. We need to understand that, by the way, before this, the data that came in November, the BOD levels, the biological oxygen demand levels, were 3 times worse than the permissible limits. The coliform levels were 12 times. This is before, Kumbh actually started. Not just that, the sewage treatment plants were almost 40-odd sewage treatment plants that are functional there only one of them actually had passed the test of actual treatment of water. So when we have data coming from the government itself, and this is not some coming from an NGO or an expert or a Soros or a Congress or a or an Aam Aadmi Party. We are actually talking about this data with respect to rivers' health and the impact that perhaps 1,600 times worse fecal coliform levels can have on people's health is a genuine concern. So I'm not sure why are we actually jumping the gun and really looking at saying that, oh, well, all is well, when things are not well as per government's own admission. So Central Pollution Control Board is the body of the government of India, right? That data with regard to the pollution in Ganga is actually coming from Central Pollution Control Board. So is Central Pollution Control Board lying? And for all these years, if Ganga is already clean and so clean that you're talking about, then why have that 40,000 crore worth project of Namami Gange? So, we need to accept that, yes, our rivers, and this is not because of a particular dispensation of BJP in power or otherwise. Our rivers are polluted. Most of the surface water in India is actually contaminated, and so is Ganga and Yamuna. And of course, a lot of pollution of Ganga is because of Yamuna, because 50% of water in Ganga is actually from one of the most toxic rivers that we have on the planet called Yamuna. So, rather than not accepting it, taking it on oneself and ego and say, oh, well, no, everything is all right, then let's scrap Ministry of Environment and Forest, Namami Gange, and Central Pollution Control Board, rather than name calling that we are doing here.
Okay, first of all, there's no name calling, so it was not aimed at you or anyone who's questioning the quality of water. So
not me.
It was.
Not
I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you in the context. 1 minute. On a lighter note, Vimlendu.
By the way, Ganga's water is 500 million people depend on that water.
I know.
So when you actually say that no, it's all right, then it's
Vimlendu. Vimlendu, you work in this field. And so do other experts. I had somebody from the Banaras Hindu University who looks at water levels specifically, does testing very often, right? What they say is completely different, right? And I agree with you on the NGT's, observations, right? Some of them are alarming, and that is why I want to go to the BJP. And when I said betas, right, you need to know who we call betas. See, there is a set of politicians. Every single day they have a comment to make on the Mahakumbh, right? Secretly, they will send their families to the Mahakumbh and make sure that... 1 minute. Nikhil Jain, calm down. Speak when you're spoken to, brother. Coming to you. Hold on. Calm down. So, they will give comments in public, right, running down the Mahakumbh, but in private, they will send their family members and make sure their family members get VIP treatment. Same parties that in Delhi say something, right, their leaders will go from Karnataka with their families and take a dip. Okay? And these are people who make comments like, Sangam water is the most polluted, bodies have been thrown in the river, water contaminated, bodies thrown, God knows, every day there's a comment, okay? Now, on your point, let's stick to the point. I'm coming to...
For a day, you would have called them.
Nikhil Jain, calm down. Like I said, calm down. I'm coming to you. There are 8 panelists. Don't disturb the debate. We're having a very, very scientific debate for a change. Calm down. Let me go to the BJP, right? Okay, Tuhin, see, here's the thing. From the numbers that should we go with... Okay, Tuhin, question to you. Vimlendu had a point. Why would the NGT say that? NGT has wrapped the Yogi government. Right? UPPCB has apologized, submitting an action taken report. But at the same time, there is the Mahakumbh website that I have, Mahakumbh water quality data. It has complete details, which according to me, by your own parameters, and I have the details today, let me tell you one of the big takeaways that he just mentioned, fecal coliform, right? On fecal coliform, the numbers that I have here, as of right now, this minute, fecal coliform Sangam levels were 780. 780 was the level, permissible level or considered safe levels. Fecal coliform has to be less than or equal to 2,500 mpn per 100 ml. That level is at 700, going by Mahakumbh website data. So which data are people who are watching this or reading the reports about NGT wrapping the Yogi government? Which report are we supposed to look at and make a decision?
Yeah. Good evening, Niranjan. Good evening, everybody. If the Ganga River would be as contaminated as is being made out by the initial report of NGT, with 60 crore people having taken the dip, you can imagine it would have led to a catastrophic situation across the country. There would have been typhoid, cholera outbreaks. None of that has happened. In fact, barring, a couple of instances, I don't even think there is any instance of anybody having fallen sick. So that's point number one. Point number two, while you have displayed the live data from the Mahakumbh website, I would refer to the findings of a very renowned scientist in the field, Dr. Ajay Sonkar. He has, as recently as 2 days ago, taken water from at least 5 different bathing ghats. And, there is absolutely no bacteria, because according to his finding, there are, the Ganga River is one of the fastest flowing freshwater rivers, which produces about 1100 types of bacteriophages, which destroys bacteria. And that pretty much could be the reason why the present data available on the UP government website or the Mahakumbh website corroborates with his finding, where all the parameters of BOD, where all the parameters of coliform are within control. But larger point, I think even in the last 5 days, has it deterred people? I was there on the 19th of February. I have got water. It's absolutely transparent, better than the water which Delhi used to get under Arvind Kejriwal. So, I think people need to apply their own conviction, their own instincts over here. And that is precisely the reason why so many people, even after the findings, continue to go there. There are obviously astronomical reasons also. There are scientific reasons for the dip which people take. It's about the axis which Jupiter forms with the sun and the moon, because of which biomagnetic energies are emitted in Ganga. So I think all of that is only benefiting the devotees. I think it's a larger call which people need to take, and people have taken that instinctive call with all their conviction. I think there clearly seems to be some anomaly with the NGT report over here.
The thing is, I don't think people are going to stop going to the Mahakumbh because of what the NGT has said. But by the way, you questioned the NGT. You have questioned the NGT. And let me actually take that point, because Vimlendu just started it. Let me take it to another environmentalist. Anand Arya is on the show. Anand Arya ji, what's your take on this? What numbers do you go by? What's your take on this entire debate?
You see, look at it this way. Is the NGT managing the Kumbh? No. It is the UP government that is managing the Kumbh. Now, as a common sense and a student of management, even for such a big event, I think the first question that will be thrown at the organizers, that is the government of Uttar Pradesh, would be the water quality. Now, why are they doing it? And the whole thing is that there is a certain amount of actions taken, which has been submitted. That action taken report has been, which runs into several hundred pages, has been submitted to the NGT, and I think the NGT has a different view now than it had when the CPCB report was submitted on the 3rd of February. And, look at it this way. I will look at it purely if I look at it from a management point of view. I would never, ever let this kind of a situation or the water quality be so bad that people will fall sick. I would make sure that there is, first the parameters like E. coli or coliform we are talking about, the BOD and everything. This is well within the safe limits. Number two, if not only that, then the basic way to manage the cleanliness of a water, and that is the way our rivers used to be in the past, is the flow of the water. Now you look at it. I have received a number of videos from one of my friends, who is also my batchmate from the 1968 IIMC batch. Now she is, has such a clean water. I actually crave to see this kind of a clean water flowing in the Ganges. Now, obviously, there's no way the government of Uttar Pradesh would let there will be contamination in the water. They will maintain the flow. And also, maintaining the flow would absolutely result in the standard quality of the water. Now, I have also received, as Tuhinji said, I have also received from several sources the water from the Sangam. That water is much better looking than my RO water, which I get in Noida.
Any water is better than Noida water sometimes. I'm sorry to say that, but with first-hand experience, parts of Noida. It's not everywhere in Noida, but parts of Noida. But anyway, go ahead.
Is essentially, it's a groundwater mixed with the Ganga water.
Yes.
And then it is supplied to us. But still we use the RO. And I put the same water in 2 glasses. The 2 glasses had one from, as brought to me from Sangam, and one brought from taken from my RO. I mean, the Sangam water is as good as that, and there is no smell at all. I mean, if you have these kind of chemicals, these kind of contamination in the water, the first thing that you would notice is the smell. Now, from miles away, like Yamuna in Delhi is contaminated, you see the smell from miles. From miles, believe me. I mean, I live very adjacent, almost about a kilometer away from the eastern bank of Yamuna in Noida. Now, we can see the smell very often. So, I mean, to say, now, of course, I mean, there are data is data, and then who you pick, from where you pick. I think if the comparison of the data has to be done, I would say that it has to be like to like. I mean, you cannot be comparing it, picking it up from some particular place, I mean, where it is contaminated. From what I have not gone to Kumbh for a variety of reasons. I mean, I would have loved to go. But the fact is that the people who have gone, some very close friends of mine who have gone there, even my staff has gone to Kumbh, and the kind of water and the way they, I mean, it's a flowing water. And in the flowing water, if you say that, oh, there is so much of fecal coliform in that, it is very difficult for me to believe.
Yeah, so you're right. I mean, I appreciate you for making that point there. Let me also go across to more panelists and getting their views. Before I open it up for a political debate, Kavita, another big takeaway that I saw in this number that I have is the chemical oxygen demand. The COD is also under control, maintained at 10 to 15 mg per litre, indicating effective reduction of industrial and chemical pollutants entering the river. A point, which has already been made by Anand Arya ji. So, you see, all parameters except for maybe 1 or 2 in one of the few days that I have. I mean, the full website data is with me, and it's been on live Mahakumbh site for the last few weeks. I don't think there is a need for an alarm to be raised. What's your take on it?
My understanding is a little different from what the other panelists are sharing, because I haven't been to the Kumbh, but I got a sample for one of my staff members went, and the bottle that I got was so dirty. Absolutely a very dark brown shade of water came to me. Of course, there was no bad smell. That's right. There was no bad smell, but the water was very dirty, very, very, foggy, you can say. But I don't know about other people's experience, but I think I understand that when 55 crores, 56 crores people are, going for the holy dip at the Sangam, whichever river in the world you can, so many people, if they go together for a religious, spiritual dip, I don't know how the local administration and the local government can handle this. So this we understand that the people of India have this religious sentiment of going to the Kumbh, and nothing can deter them, whether the water gets polluted or there is so many types of fecal coliform, but people are not going to stop. So I understand there is a lot of confusion in the data, and I myself don't know which to follow and understand, because one side of the data says that the water is very clean, and the other says it's so highly polluted. There's something that I have.
Did you test the water? Let me ask you this, Kavita ji. Did you test the water that you got? Did you send it to a lab? Did you do some tests to check the levels?
No,
except for the color discoloring.
I didn't even dare to, take a drop of it, because somebody said,
And did you ask your staff where they got it from? Which ghat, perhaps, I don't know, from exact location where they picked it up from?
Which ghat? They went with their parents to the Sangam, So, everyone wants to go and take a dip at the Sangam. So, you won't believe me that water was so dirty that I didn't even feel like taking 2 drops and saying,
No,
okay,
that's fine.
Ganga has come to my house.
That's fine. That's fine.
I
No,
was so scared. Yeah.
No, I understand, but I don't think anybody is
So,
Yeah. This is my problem. See, Kavita ji, one of course is hearsay and one is backed by scientific data, right? Now, Vimlendu Jha is also an environmentalist. He's got very strong views on it. Look at that. Sangeet Ragi's brought that bottle out. Where's that bottle from, Sangeet Ragi? What's in that bottle? What's that?
On 17th of...
Show that. Okay, let's go full frame. What is that? What is that bottle? Yeah.
This bottle is the Ganga, carrying Ganga water from Prayag itself.
Okay.
And my son had collected 4 bottles of water from Ganga, Prayag. You can see it here. And I was also there in Sangam from 15th to 17th of January. And rightly, one of the panelists said that there is no smell in the water. It is almost transparent, not translucent. Again, I am telling you.
Yeah.
So, contradictory reports have come. Central Pollution Control Board has said something else.
Yeah.
The UP Pollution Board has said something else. And one thing we must remember, that every day, almost 1 crore people are having holy dip in river Ganga. And the flow of the river, given the flow of the river, you can imagine that there is nothing wrong with. I haven't come across, I have talked to the people coming from the villages, and so many noises we are hearing on television screen about the mismanagement or things like that. But you talk to the people in the villages I have talked to, and I don't think that any of them have any complaint about. They accept that when they go on pilgrimage, and pilgrimage of such kind, then little bit problem is bound to happen. They are not going in 5-star or 7-star hotel, which the Latin expect to be that kind of management. Third point, why this ruckus, the political angle, let us remember it. Almost 60 crores, the Hindus have taken dip into river Ganga. So almost 1/3 or even more than 1/3 Hindus have taken dip. This is the political problem that is creating political problem for the parties like Samajwadi and Lalu. Lalu says that this is a faltu of, organization. This is faltu. Kumbh is faltu. So is for Samajwadi Party.
Yeah, I saw Samajwadi Party leaders. What are you saying? They're faltu. They're saying faltu, but they're sending their family members. I saw their family members on a boat. I saw family members of a Samajwadi Party top leader on a boat with VVIP treatment.
Can I add in some?
Rahul Gandhi. The problem is that this is creating a problem in their mind. That look, if these people, whom they call Hindutva, they are going, they have taken dip into river Ganga or Prayag or Triveni. They are going to be in likely.
No, I'll tell you what my problem is, Sangeet ji. 1 minute.
The problem.
Sangeet ji, 1 minute. You know what my problem is? I'll tell you. And Kavita ji, I'll come back to you. I just want to get all the panelists. I'll get one round and I'll come back to you. Okay? See, Nikhil, this is the problem. Nikhil, have you ever gone to a river? Have you played in a river? Have you gone to a beach? Have you done any snorkeling, scuba diving? Have you done any water activity anytime? You have?
Abhishek, I didn't think I was called in for the debate to discuss where I go for rivers and my swimming and my recreation. I think what we're talking about is something much more important.
Calm down.
The health and the lives
It's a
of the
Saturday
people of the country.
evening.
Come on.
It's a Saturday evening. It's a Saturday evening. It's a casual conversation, man.
No, I know you're a funny chap. I know it's a Saturday night, but
relax. Calm down, Nikhil. Nikhil, just calm down. Nikhil, I haven't asked you a question, my friend. Can I ask you the question? Can I ask you the? You got to take it easy, Nikhil. It's a Saturday evening. It's a Saturday evening, man. Oh, God. Wait. Okay, can we just put Nikhil on mute for a second because I want to make a point and then let him speak. I'm going to let him speak. See, Nikhil, this is the thing. This is the thing, right? When you go to a riverbed or you go to a beach, right? When you step on the sand, right? Obviously the sediment rises, right? And then you fill a bottle, the water will be discolored. You understand? And 60 crore people are going there. One person is saying the water is discolored, but it's not smelling. But obviously it's discolored because there is sediment, right? Everywhere, right? But I'm not getting the basis of all these comments that are being made, especially by politicians, right? That it's polluted, most polluted, it's this, that. I mean, what? Okay, Nikhil, I'll let you speak. What is the basis of your complaint today, Nikhil?
The pollution is in
So,
their mind.
Niranjan, the point is not whether the water is cloudy or whether it's transparent, whether it has sediment or whether it does not. What the point is does it have bacteria that can cause serious illnesses? The bacteria like E. coli, bacteria like fecal coliform. The point is that fecal coliform permissible limits are 100 ml. There should not be more than there should not even be a single colony forming unit. And the data that you're pulling from the Mahakumbh website clearly shows there is 780. I'm reading 700. Earlier I was reading 1700 for some reason. Okay, 17th Feb data is 780 colony forming units per 100 ml. It should not be even.
Oh, not 100 ml. No.
Deemed fit for
Sir, this is the correct data. This is within permissible limits.
No,
it's within permissible limits.
Permissible limits
Yes.
for bathing.
Yeah.
Permissible limits
Who's asking
for
you to go to
bathing,
Kumbh
not
and
for
drink the water
drinking.
there? Yeah, Nikhil. Who's asking you to go to Kumbh and drink the water? People go there to take a dip.
Uttar Pradesh Minister.
Wait,
Uttar Pradesh
1 minute.
Minister,
Who's
Yogi
asking you to go to
Adityanath
Mahakumbh
said that
and drink the water there? Yeah, Nikhil. People are going there to take a dip,
Uttar
no?
Pradesh Chief Minister. No.
No.
Uttar
1
Pradesh
minute.
Chief Minister. No, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister said that. Yogi Adityanath said that. Publicly he said that. One of the panelists on this show has also said that the water from the Kumbh that he's gathered is better than the water that he's getting in his RO. I'm sorry, so I think you need to get a check in your RO and the water supply that you're getting at your home. I hope you're not living in Greater Noida or Noida where the water supply is so pathetic that it is worse than water that is barely fit for
It's bad in parts. It's bad in parts, yeah. It's not bad everywhere. It's bad in parts, yeah. It's bad in parts. It's not bad everywhere, yeah. Nikhil, come on.
It's horrible, but it's horrible at the point of Mahakumbh because 39 out of 40 sewage treatment plants are not working. The Central Pollution Control Board, which is under the Government of India, Ministry of Environment, headed by Dharmendra Pradhan, has submitted that report to the NGT. NGT has reprimanded the UPPCB, which is under the Government of UP, first for giving old data, later for not giving a proper action taken report. The data that was given by the UPPCB initially to the NGT did not have fecal coliform, and fecal coliform is the most worrying part. You have doctors around the country talking about how some people from Kumbh are coming back with serious respiratory problems.
Doctors will respond to data that is given to them, no, Nikhil? Doctors will respond to data that is given to them, no, Nikhil?
Are you telling me the CPCB is lying? Are you telling me CPCB, Bhupendra Yadav is conspiring against Yogi Adityanath?
No.
Narendra Modi?
See, it's like this, Nikhil. It's like this.
Why
Nikhil, it's like this. Can I see? Consider this scenario. You take this data, right? And I'm opening the data, live data once again. I'm opening the live data, going to it straight. As we speak, the fecal coliform level in Yamuna before the confluence to river Ganga at Sangam. As we speak, the live data shows that level is 450, which is way lesser than the permissible limit of 2,500 mpn per 100 ml. Okay, 450. Now, this is the thing. If you take this, listen, calm down. If you take this data, Karan, and you go to a doctor, and you tell the doctor, dear doctor, this is the level of fecal coliform, right? Is this fit for drinking? Obviously, the doctor will say, no, it's not fit for drinking. Right? The doctor will react to the data. 1 minute. The doctor will react to the data and the question. But are people going to Mahakumbh to drink the water there? Karan, do you think, there's convenient twisting of the numbers here to build this anti-Kumbh narrative? I'm seeing that politicians are doing it.
The CPCB.
See, you can't blame doctors, you can't blame experts. I'm blaming the politicians. I'm questioning the politicians.
The mother of all.
Nikhil, tera problem kya hai yaar? 1 minute. Let Karan speak.
Can I speak?
Yeah, Karan.
Why are you forgetting the CPCB data?
Karan. And then I'm going to Ashutosh. Karan.
Can I speak?
Yes.
The mother of all ironies is that our friend Nikhil and Ashutosh ji and all these people, today they have suddenly got this trust in the Central Pollution Control Board, in a central government body. I mean, this is the biggest hallmark that our institutions are so politically agnostic that they can be self-critical of their state government also, which they have a party. The party, their own party has a government there. So let's for a minute just stand back and understand how robust our institutions are and how robust our democracy is, where it's good to be self-critical. That is point number one. Now, secondly, you know,
But
none of us,
where are you being
at least
self-critical?
except for
Listen to him, no, Nikhil, listen to
but
him.
more. No,
Nikhil, listen to
I
him.
know you are busted. Suddenly you have this faith in the CPCB and the NGT. Suddenly you have this. Very good. Good to see you coming on the right path. That's heartening to know. But you know, barring that, let's understand this. It is a fact that the CPCB did pull up, and it is also a fact that Mr. Ajay Kumar Sonkar, who is a Padma Shri, by the way, and a decorated scientist, he's come up with an alternate report. As citizens, we are in a win-win situation where the institutions are equally critical of the water and we must reach a conclusion. But till then, why are we whipping up this hysteria? कभी बोलते हैं मृत्यु कुंभ है, कभी बोलते हैं कुंभ फालतू है, कभी बोलते हैं इससे रोटी आएगी क्या, कभी बोलते हैं लाशें तैर रही हैं. What sort of nonsense is this? You are trying to do is create this hysteria because you cannot tolerate that this is a highly successful event where Vikas has met Virasat. And your entire caste-based politics is dead and buried today. When 1.5 crore dip in the holy Ganges, in the holy waters, nobody is seeing any caste. This is a victory against this PDA Rajniti, this caste division Rajniti. That is what Nikhil and his ilk cannot stomach. इसलिए वो हर समय कुछ ना कुछ निकालते हैं. They are clutching at the straws even if it's the central government body. Can you imagine कितने बुरे दिन आ गए भाई? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट बॉडी को रिप्यूट अब आप कोट कर रहे हो.
Karan, what do you expect me to do? Do you want me to go myself and test it for E. coli?
No, you ask. तो एक काम करो.
I will have to.
No, you do one thing.
Right?
You do one thing. You question DK Shiv Kumar. You pick up the phone. You're from Congress. No, you have some support to the Congress. You're a Congress card-holding member, right? You call DK Shiv Kumar. I'll give you his number, direct number. You call Mr. DK Shiv Kumar and tell him, Mr. DK Shiv Kumar, when you took a dip in that water, did you feel any acidity on your body? Did you have rashes? You went there with your family. In fact, his entire core team of 15 people went, took a dip, came back, spoke highly about it. They're all happy. They're cool, man. It's okay. It's okay. My problem is, and my question is to Ashutosh. My problem is, Ashutosh ji.
Saying about
One minute.
That is what the government was saying about the COVID second wave. Niranjan, mind you, that is what the government was saying.
Don't get into COVID. Don't get into COVID. Then I will have to bring out everything about COVID and whatever you guys said back then, which will haunt you.
Please.
You talk about COVID, I'll talk about COVID vaccines. You talk about COVID, I'll talk about COVID vaccines. Don't. Just stop it. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to divert. Nikhil, it's not between you and me, man. I'm just a journalist asking you questions. Okay, calm down. Ashutosh ji, what do you make of this? This entire debate around the levels at the Mahakumbh.
So after hearing Tuhin and Karan and the other expert, I feel as if it's a war between Modi and Yogi. So now Modi bodies want to tell Yogi that you are a failure, that you have been unable to give us a clean coup. तो ये तो वही हुआ ना जैसे शर्मा जी को इन्होंने भेजा था मिनिस्टर बनने के लिए योगी के अंडर. तो why are you not trusting scientists and trusting politicians? The data that you are showing today, live data, the same body was pulled up by NGT for giving old samples in an affidavit. How can you trust such people? How can you trust these figures? I mean, no thinking person would trust a body which can give a false affidavit in NGT, first of all. Second of all, as you rightly said, when people go to a pilgrimage, they are blinded and they sort of don't worry about these things. वो आस्था का कुंभ है. उस आस्था के कुंभ में what does Yogi Adityanath say when there is a stampede and when he is accused of things? He says, this is a social and cultural event and we are just here as servants, not as organizers. So he immediately sort of says, it's not my fault. And all the data that has been given by scientists has to be trusted. And when if you don't trust the Modi government data, then obviously it's a politics between Modi and Yogi, and the rest of the Hindus. I mean, you are just making victims out of them. Whom to trust? एक Modi की guarantee या Yogi की बात. Here you are. This is a ridiculous situation we have. And for me, from what I have been reading over the last few years, there have been more than one instances where the data provided by the government did not meet the standards. I mean, even in Varanasi, I think an NGO, Sankat Mochan, I'm forgetting the full name, they conducted a study and found that in Ganga itself in Varanasi, it wasn't as clean as was being made out in the certain government reports. It did not meet the government set standards. The same thing was pointed out by various CAG reports. And in fact, if I remember correctly, in 2023, the head of the Ganga Clean Mission said that by 2025 there will be no sewage in Ganga. But here we are finding that there is sewage is still there, whatever be the amount. You can question that. So whom to trust? That is it's a question today which a normal person, a common man is worried about. You don't want me to trust Modi's government because the data it provides casts doubt on the data provided by Yogi government. And if I trust Modi's data, then I become Sanatan Virodhi. If I trust Yogi's data, then I am pro-Sanatan. The thing is, it's not about Sanatan. Every Hindu doesn't vote for BJP.
Can I answer?
Otherwise, today Modi would have been on 240. One of the panelists was saying that the opposition is worried that these 60 crore people will vote for Modi. They had the same wrong notion when they were building the Ram temple, and see what happened in UP and all over India. So please don't mix religion, religious belief of Hindus, it as being pro-BJP or anti-BJP. BJP is just trying to be like pandas of mandirs and of Hindu astha, from which they can earn notes and votes. They have been checked, and that's why they are desperate.
I agree with you.
That in this Kumbh they can be sort of find their achhe din.
Understood.
And that's why this desperation to show that this is just a great success.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you that politicians use religion to win votes. I absolutely agree with you. Just like how Mamata Banerjee, for example, in the year 2015, in September 2015, announced 10 lakh rupees compensation for Mecca victims from Bengal. In 2015, September 2015, you go back and check. Ashutosh, you're a journalist. She announced 10 lakh rupees for every victim of the Mecca stampede. And every year at the Hajj, right, there are deaths. Every year you go back and check, and minimum of 100 goes up to 1,500, 2,000 in some years. Mamata Banerjee, when there were victims in the Hajj, and you're right, everywhere it's all about organizing, management, people management, and that should be the first priority. One second, I'm coming to you, 1 second. She announces 10 lakh rupees compensation in the year 2015 for Hajj victims. But in Mahakumbh, she calls it Mrityu Kumbh. You understand? I agree with you on the point that politicians use religion to get votes. Absolutely, you're spot on. And that is what I'm questioning. That is exactly what I'm questioning. Sangeet Ragi, am I wrong?
No, you are absolutely right. And do expect in times to come that Rahul Gandhi will be attending Makkah and also the Christmas celebration towards the end of the year every time. But he doesn't have time to have a holy dip. That's why we call Rahul Gandhi a Chunavi
No, but it's a personal choice. No, it's a personal choice. Why do you want to impose it on him?
I know, but it's also the personal choice to attend Makkah and Christmas celebration in Italy. He always take a tour to Italy to participate in, Christmas celebration. But he doesn't have the time. He went to UP 2 days back, and he had no time to travel at least 100 kilometers.
I'll tell you, talking about Congress, 1 minute. Talking about Congress, I have a very interesting stat. Sangeet Ragi ji, I have a very interesting stat. I didn't actually want to bring the experts. 1 minute. I didn't want to bring in the experts on this.
You don't have to believe me every time.
Sangeet Ragi ji, 1 minute. I didn't want to bring in the experts on this, but there is a very interesting stat that I have. I see Kavita raising her hand. I'll go to Kavita, but I want to give you a very interesting stat. So you know the US aid file. I have the entire data dump. Okay, it's 50 GB. 50 GBA. So I've spent a lot of hours going through every little detail. There is a group called Catholic Relief Services. And we found out that the kind of money that was promised to them, obligated, right, in the UPA years to Catholic Relief Services was in excess of $220 million. Okay, that's nearly, in all those years, if you calculate, it's roughly about 18,000 crore rupees. 18,000 crore rupees in the UPA years. And this money, and they work openly, they say that they work with Caritas. They say that they work with human aid, humanitarian groups in Manipur. And they have openly opposed legislations by the BJP, for example, anti-conversion, right? Now, I found it interesting. It's just a fleeting mention, but I found it interesting that this Christian Relief Services group under UPA years received so much of money, right? I don't know where the money went, but I don't want to get into it. No, I just wanted to make that mention and leave that thought there because we're breaking that story.
Niranjan, in the promo,
I don't want to get into it.
In the promo that you played, Donald Trump said that he's been giving $21 million to Narendra Modi.
Either you don't understand English or you don't know Modi. You don't understand English or you don't know how Trump speaks. Trump is saying, my friend Modi, he means India. He says, my friend Modi and India got 21.
How do you know what he means?
Oh my God. Because he said it, because in the last 4 days he's made 4 comments. 4 days he's made 4 comments. You want me to change the subject of the debate? I'm not going to do that. Kavitaji, I'm coming back. Pull back. Coming back to the debate on the water level, water quality. Kavitaji, yes. You were raising your hand. Kavitaji, you had a point to make?
Yeah, I want to, yes. My point is like there is so much confusion in the data with the Central Pollution Control Board and other, inputs. So everybody's confused, but I think the faith, the ask of the people, as we've seen on the debate and otherwise people who are coming back from the Kumbh is so strong that any quality of water, whether it is polluted or not polluted, is not stopping the people from going to Kumbh. And I feel that before I make any further comment on which data is right or not, I think it's high time I need to go myself, take a dip and understand whether it is worth, real going there. Or,
yes, please do that, ma'am. We'll call you back on the debate.
How do you question the quality of the water? I don't think so, because there is we don't know which data to follow. Really, as an environmentalist also, I'm so confused whether we go with the NGT or the Central Pollution Control Board.
Yeah. Quickly, I want 2 comments, one from Anand Arya and the other from Vimlendu. Anand Arya ji, yes, I saw you raising your hand there.
Yeah, you see, one point I want to make is that in the report which is submitted by the UP Pollution Control Board to NGT, they have said that all the areas from where the pollutants were coming have been blocked. Now, and that plus the flow of the water is so much that for anyone, I would rather go. Of course, CPCB data has a certain amount of authenticity, but I would still go with the data that is being done by the UP Pollution Control Board. For the very simple reason, because they are the people who are managing this. And if they cannot, that is the starting point. That once the Kumbh takes place, people will come. And they will need clean water. And that has been ensured. Now, one very simple comment by one of my staff who had gone there was that साहब अगर आप वहाँ पे एक सुई भी डालेंगे ना तो वो मैं निकाल के ले आ सकती हूँ, इतना साफ पानी है। दूसरा ये है कि अगर पानी इतना साफ है और उसमें फ्लो कर रहा है और पीछे से जो उसके पोल्यूटेंट के सोर्सेज हैं, if these have been taken care of, I don't see a reason why we should not trust UPPC data.
Yeah, agree with you. Vimlendu.
Can I make a point?
Yes, Vimlendu. I'm getting across to Vimlendu.
Okay, so, first of all, we need to understand and accept that is Ganga one of the most polluted rivers of our country? Forget Kumbh for a second. Is it polluted? And that's the reason why we have a 40,000 crore project called Namami Gange. Do we agree on that? Yes, we do agree on that. And it's been polluted for many, many years. And for, whatever, 20 years, 30 years that we can talk about. One. Point number 2, what Tuhin initially said, that, 50 crore, 60 crore people have actually gone and taken a holy dip and nobody's fallen ill. And therefore, why should we actually worry that the pollution pollution information or data would be incorrect. On that logic, Delhi's AQI is 300, 400, 500, 600. People survive, people do breed, people still are breeding, and they're not really dying. And therefore, should we say that Delhi's air is not polluted? It's not. It doesn't make any sense. Of course, we have our own fate. Of course, people might be falling. There are lots of doctors that have actually come on various programs and have said that there can be ailment and there are ailment that is there. We need to understand that, of course, to organize an event like this, and not just this Kumbh, by the way, on every Kumbh, there's extra water, fresh water that is actually released from Tehri Dam and various other
whether it will be
projects.
short or long, please.
Okay.
Sorry?
Yes, Tuhin, quickly, I need to end the debate. Tuhin, I've run out of time. You want to say something?
See, I mean, he was mentioning about the Delhi thing. Probably he doesn't take cognizance of the fact that 1/3 of the children in Delhi are suffering from asthma-related problems because of the air. So that is how, bad quality air or bad quality water impacts you, which is certainly not the case over here. These are people, some of these critics are those people who will struggle to manage a birthday party of 20 people in their houses. But, being an armchair critic is very easy. To understand the magnitude of the Mahakumbh, you will need to realize that in a city of 15 lakh population, the city has already hosted 400 times number. So I don't know which data they are quoting, that 39 out of the 40 STPs are not working, but I know that 10 additional STPs, please allow me to complete my point.
Yeah.
10 additional STPs had been specially installed for the Mahakumbh, which are actively working in full capacity and, treating sewage to the tune of 370 million liters every day. And that is precisely the reason why the Ganga water quality is still maintainable.
Okay.
It is still, it is still within normal limits, and that is still why people are thronging to it, and people are healthy.
Okay,
after
I have to, only
dip.
because I've completely run out of time. I apologize to everybody. This is going to be a debate that we're going to talk about in the next few days. A subject that we will continue to report on. We'll get you back. Only because I've run out of time, I'd like to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the debate. The numbers are there. Anybody can access these numbers. It's on the website. It's live numbers. It's data that you can't refute because it's recorded every single day. Is there a need to panic? Absolutely not. Is it safe to take a dip? Of course it is, as numbers show. So should you panic? Absolutely not. Thank you for joining us on The Burning Question. Headlines coming up next.